So, did you just finish your contest prep season and you are ready to go into the sunset, into your off season? And in your mind is dancing all of the amazing things that you're going to magically transform into by working harder, by eating better, eating more, and by training hard. But here's the thing, you are a natural competitor. So that means there's a little bit of a limit as to how much muscle you can really put on in your off season and be ready for the next time that you step on stage. Listen, I know the frustration and all of that, and today I just want to go ahead and talk to you to give you a little assurance and point you in the direction of what you need to be thinking as you embark in your improvement season and taking your body to the next level. First of all, if this is your first time here, I want to welcome you to my channel, and if you are a returning viewer, hey there, thank you so much for coming back. You know, I appreciate you guys so much. Listen, take a moment right now to subscribe to my channel and click the bell notification so that way you don't miss a single video. And that means that's for any one of you, that whether you are a returning subscriber or if you're completely new, make sure you get the bell. You don't miss a thing, honey, okay? And also, I want you to stick around to the very end of this video because I have something that I want to give you, a free gift for those of you out there who are into competing and contest prep and you just want to know how to do this stuff smarter and better and to do it as naturally as possible. Yeah, let's go ahead and talk. I have a free gift for you. And also, if you're looking for a coach, I'm actually taking on some new coaching clients. So stick around to the end, I'll tell you all about it. But before we jump into the conversation today, I do want to introduce myself to you. My name is Roxy Beckles, and I am a former IFBB pro who turned pro in women's physique. I started out in figure. This is a video of me right here that I like to show at the beginning of my videos so you guys know who I am, okay? This is me at my pro debut at the Dallas Europa. I literally just turned pro about 2 weeks before. And I had the amazing opportunity to not only compete in the IFBB, but I also had the opportunity to compete at the 2014 Olympia in women's physique. And now what I get to do is I have the pleasure of working with women just like you who are interested in taking their training and nutrition to the next level and to get on stage and look their absolute best. And so let's go ahead and just jump right into what I got to tell you today, honey. So you want to improve your body. You want to step on stage. You want to look your best, right? And the thing that you're worried about is how much muscle you can honestly put on as a natural athlete and be able to step on stage looking your best in the next season. Because I always like to tell clients, like, bodybuilding is a sport. The way that bodybuilding is, it's a sport. It's not a game of get on stage as many times a year as you can and, see how things go. It really has to be a strategic thing. And back in the day, in the earlier days of bodybuilding, like that's how people competed. They would look at their shows, they would pick, 1 or 2 shows for the season, and then they might spend an entire year in an off season before stepping on stage again. So that way, every time they step on stage, you're getting better and better. Now, not every single one of you has a goal of turning pro, and that's totally fine. You don't have to be a pro in order to enjoy this sport. You can be an amateur and enjoy this sport to the fullest, but every time you step on stage, you want to make sure you're presenting your best. Now, one of the things for a lot of women that you have to realize is that you're not going to put on copious amounts of muscle in a short amount of time, not unless you're like a complete newbie. And a lot of you out there simply aren't. I always say for a natural athlete, natural woman, that you want to take at least 6 months to even a year off before stepping on stage again to put on the maximum amount of muscle that you can without putting on a lot of fat in the process as well. You have to think about the fact that for most women, putting on about 1/4 of a pound to 1 full pound of muscle is what is normal in a month. So just 1 pound of muscle, and that's for those who are really super genetically gifted. We're not like men. We don't have the same hormonal makeup as men, and so you being able to put on a bunch of muscle in a short amount of time is not a real thing unless you are willing to cross those lines. Let me say right now, I don't have a problem with a woman deciding that she wants to use steroids in order to help her to gain muscle, because that's her choice. Is it a look that I prefer? Not at all. And I actually prefer working with natural athletes just because I just don't have it in me anymore to want to do a drug protocol for a client. Like, it's just not something that I find enjoyable. Okay. And I really advocate for women to push themselves to that limit. And when they're ready to go beyond that, if I'm working with someone who, they might want to turn pro in the IFBB or whatever, find a drug coach, basically, because that's what those are. They're drug coaches. Find a drug coach and they'll be able to help you out. But for those of you that are not at that level, you got to think about things in terms of what's natural for the body. And so a quarter of a pound, a half a pound or so to 1 pound a month, it's what's normal for most women. And especially as you get older, it becomes a little bit, the growth becomes a little bit slower. For younger women, my ladies who are like in their late teens, 20s, even in your earlier 30s, you'll see you might be able to get to the higher end of that scale. 1 pound of muscle a month or so, maybe a little bit more. But again, as you get older, that declines. The other thing that you ladies need to think about, besides giving yourself enough time to actually change your body, is how you are training. How you are training. You're not going to see any muscle growth or anything like that if you are training too often. And I think a lot of times people think that they have to go to gym 7 days a week, no rest, no pain, no gain. That's how you get there. And yeah, that's the quickest way to burn out, actually. And especially when you're natural, because your body does not have the chance to recover. And actually, natural or not, it doesn't even matter. You can't fight physiology. Your body needs to be able to recover in order to grow. So it's really fruitful for you to look at your schedule and have weeks where you're like 5 days a week in the gym. You can even do 6 days a week. But make sure you're giving yourself a day of rest. And those weeks where you're doing like 6 days a week, keep them short. I like to do like specialized specialized programming with clients. So we'll take 1 or 2 body parts, or not even 1 or 2. We usually take about 2 body parts that we want to really improve. And we kick up the volume. We kick up the training volume as far as the frequency that we're training that specific muscle. We will train all over the spectrum when it comes to rep selection and how many reps and how many sets and all that stuff. And kick it into high gear for about 6 to 8 weeks. And then I'll give them like a 4-week deload. And we keep going through those cycles. And when you start doing that, when you start working in a very scientific way, in a very sensible way, in a sports specific kind of way, you'll see how it makes sense to have a long off season. But the gains that you see are going to be amazing. And they're gains that you're going to keep when you start to diet. The faster you put on any of this muscle, the faster it's going to go off anyway. So you want to make sure that you're doing things that lay the foundation for building the density, the muscle density and maturity that needs to come along with being able to look good and look like a champion on that stage. Frequency and volume. Volume is one of the biggest, frequency and volume, kind of the same thing. Those are the biggest influences on the body and seeing the changes that you want to see in hypertrophy. And so you want to definitely make sure you are including a lot of volume. And that means like, as far as like how the exercises that you're choosing, how many days a week you're working that muscle, the volume over time, as far as the amount of weight, making sure you're pushing the intensity, not meaning like, just training hard, but you're lifting heavy in that respect. And that you're really putting stress and pressure on the muscle to have to grow. But on the opposite end of that is the fact that you need to recover, ladies. So in that sense, give yourself about 1 to 2 days off. And then every few weeks, take a full week out of the gym. Just do something else. Do yoga, do flexibility, do a lot of recovery, get yourself some good massages, do ice baths, do spin classes, go for a run, like change. You can do an active rest. Don't go in the gym. Just allow your body to just, And that doesn't even need words, you know what I mean? Like, right? To recover. And then go back at it. I would even say after you do like no in the gym at all for a week, you just do the stuff I just told you to do. The second week, start to just do like 3 days in the gym, total body work, just real light. Get the blood pumping and stuff like that. Focus on flexibility. And then by week 3, you can go back into your programming the way that you want to. And all of these help your body to develop in the best possible way, in the healthiest way. Another thing that I would say that you natural ladies want to play with is tempo. Time under tension. Time under tension has such a huge impact on changing the body, on hypertrophy. When I say time under tension, meaning tempo, the way that your lifting speed, your actual lifting speed. So many times people go in the gym and they're just pumping things out like boom, 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 boom. Slow it down. Slow it down. Working on the negative. We all know what negatives are. That's the eccentric portion. So let's say we're doing a chest press. Pushing out is the positive end, but coming back to start, that's the negative. You're doing lat pull downs. Pulling down is the positive and coming back up is the negative. Okay? Working on the negative, coming back to the starting point, and doing that slowly against the pull of the resistance that you're using, the weight. Oh, honey, that has such a huge impact on the central nervous system. It creates further tissue damage, tearing of the muscles on the microscopic level. And those are the things that help you to get stronger. When we talk about the central nervous system and the micro tears in the muscle is what has to be rebuilt, that helps with hypertrophy, the building of new tissue. So playing with tempo, time under tension is important. And when I say that, for instance, most people when you're lifting, you're usually doing like a 202 tempo, 2 out, 2 back, no holds. Why don't you go in there, 2 out, hold for 2 seconds and come slowly back down to start, 4 seconds. Something like that. You can play around with the schemes and you will really start to see your body respond in an amazing way. And then the final thing I would say is that your diet is always going to be the driving factor behind change. You cannot outtrain your diet, you guys. So you need to make sure that you are eating enough. A lot of ladies out there, y'all are not eating enough. And listen, I can't blame you because the industry has scared you to death when it comes to calories. You've been brought up to think that every time you eat something, you're going to get fat. If you eat fat, you get fat. You eat carbs, you get fat. Protein is like the holy grail to everything. You need to be doing keto. You need to be doing paleo. Oh my Jesus Christ. Like, it's not even that serious. You got to learn how to drop a lot of that drama. You got to learn how to drop a lot of that stuff. But at the end of the day, in your off season, you're going to need to put on weight. So a lot of you need to make that mental shift in your mind that it is okay for you to actually put on weight. It is okay for you to actually see the scale go up. Your clothes not fit you the way that it fit you when you were competing. That's a mental shift you have to be willing to make when you compete. Because the body that was on stage that you remember that was all ripped up, that is only something that can be held for a fleeting second, especially if you prepped properly. If you prepped properly, your stage look should be something that you can only hold for like 1 day or maybe 2 days maximum. You cannot maintain it because it's not natural. So your off season needs to focus on eating in a caloric surplus. You need to eat more than what your body needs in order to put on the muscle that you want to see. You also have to be very okay with the fact that you cannot exclusively put on muscle, that there is going to be some body fat that comes along with it. How you eat, how you train, that's all going to have an impact on how much body fat is coming on and how much muscle is coming on. So all that stuff that I told you about the training, make sure you do apply that. But you got to eat more. And I would say for most of you, you need to get your calories up above 2,000 calories a day. And that even goes for my little shorty ones. Y'all can be eating 1,800, 1,900, 2,000 calories very easily. And for those of you that are tall, y'all tall Amazons, anybody over 5'5", honey, if your calories ain't above 2,200 calories, I don't know what you're doing. All right, I don't know what you're doing over there. You got to get them calories up, homegirl. Okay. So that is what I would say for those of you that are natural competitors who want to make the most of your off season, what you need to be doing to do so. Now, I know there's going to be folks out there that ask me about, Roxy, what about supplements? What kind of supplements should I be taking? Your supplement is your diet, honey. That is what it is. Your supplement is your diet. And if your diet isn't together, no supplement is going to help you. But if we have to talk about supplements, I would say that creatine monohydrate is something that you should consider in your muscle building program for those of you who are trying to remain natural. There's so much research on creatine, and my promise to you is that I'm going to actually do a video on creatine and its benefits and how it can help you. And once I do that video, I'm going to come back to this video and put it in the little eye circle thing at the top of the video here and in the description. But right now I can't hook you up because I didn't talk about it yet. But what I will say very briefly, because I don't want this video to be too long, is that creatine is really, really great for those of you who are looking to gain strength and also to put on some mass. And you don't need any kind of fancy, you can just go to the GNC or to the vitamin shop or to Amazon or bodybuilding.com and just get you some creatine monohydrate. Like, it just says creatine monohydrate on the container, and you turn around the back of the ingredient and say creatine monohydrate. You know, it doesn't have a bunch of fillers and this, that, and the other. And use about 5 grams a day. They talk about loading it, but that, like, in the past it was like a big thing to like load it every day, and then, you know, after you load it, then you can go to 5. But what the research says that you can just start 5 grams a day, one simple scoop post-workout or so is enough to be able to see the gains that you should expect from creatine. The thing about creatine is that it's not acute. It's like something that happens chronically. So like, you have to actually take it for a couple of days and let it really load up in your body before you're able to see the gains from it. But it still has its place and it's useful. So if you're thinking about that, do some research on creatine until I put the video up so you guys can learn more about it from me at least. And if that's something that you want to include, sure. Post-workout drinks, pre-workouts are all great. If you want them, then great. If you don't, then fantastic. I don't have my clients take anything more than protein powder, fish oil, multivitamin, and creatine. Okay? And you see how they look. All right? So I hope that this was helpful for you. The one thing that I will say for all of you, especially those new competitors out there, and sometimes seasoned competitors need a reminder too, honeys, this is not a quick thing. If you choose to do bodybuilding, then you need to choose to build the body. And it's going to take time. It's going to take patience. It's going to take effort. And it's not something that you can just do in a short amount of time. Put in the work to see the changes that you want. Some of you are like watching this video, you're 30 years old, you're 35, you're 40, you're 45 years old, you're 50 years old. Some of you are in your 20s. But I want to talk specifically to my ladies that are older, because especially when you're over the age of 35 and you're trying to take on this sport, you're hormonally in a different place than you were at 20, 25, and even 30. And you have to realize that it's going to take time for your body to change, and you've got to put in that work. That's just what it is. Don't expect miracles to happen in a short amount of time. This has to be a lifestyle. If you want to continue to compete and do what you have to do, this has to be a lifestyle. You have to allow your body the opportunity to change in the way that it needs to. The other thing that I'll say for my ladies that are over the age of 35, if you're getting into this game of bodybuilding, to stay on top of your hormones. Because it's at that age range, that things just really change. And actually, after the age of 25 alone, your DHEA levels like start to plummet ridiculously. That's why it's harder for a lot of women to lose fat. DHEA has an impact on metabolism to a great degree. Some of you are dealing with like borderline hypothyroidism, where you go in and you take a look at your numbers and the doctor's telling you that you're normal and you're suboptimal. Like you're normal range, but you're on the low end of normal. And therefore your body is not doing what it needs to do to lose fat. Some of you may be dealing with other issues like with your reproductive hormones. And that has an impact on how your body is able to change, gain muscle, lose weight, and all that stuff. So the final parting shot that I'm going to leave with you guys today is that if you're over the age of 35, get your blood tested, get your lab work done. And ask for everything. A full panel thyroid, meaning you need free T3, free T4, you need TSH, and you need RT3. You need to ask for those specifically. Otherwise, they're not going to give it to you, and they might even fight you for that. Look at your sex hormones, the full panel sex hormones, and look at your adrenals as well. Take a saliva adrenal test to see where your cortisol levels. If you're on top of that, it's going to be a lot easier to know how your body's going to respond. And now I'm talking about stuff in this video that I didn't even want to talk about. Child, Lord Jesus, y'all know I go on tangents. And I'm trying not to edit. I'm just trying to really just let things flow and just so that way these conversations to be natural. I want to feel like this is a coaching session, And if you have questions, you can post them below and I'll get back to you. So let me just go ahead and end it. Let me just end things right here. Ladies, natural ladies, eat, rest, recovery. Stop going in the gym 20,000 times a day. Eat more, please. Eat more. You got to eat more. Over 2,000 calories a day. Take some creatine. And girl, play with your tempo. And you're going to be all right. That's how it works. Okay, guys. So I hope that this video was very, very helpful for you. I don't know why I feel so silly today. I'm in a silly kind of mood. But I really hope that this video was helpful for you. Like I said, if you stuck around to the end of this video and you are looking for contest prep, let me go ahead and give you some information. So I have an amazing ebook. It's called the Contest Prep Crash Course. And in it, I talk about how you can get ready for your show and do it in the smartest way possible. Listen, ladies, contest prep is not healthy. Point blank, bodybuilding is not healthy. It's probably one of the least healthiest things that you can probably do to yourself physically and mentally and emotionally as well. But for those of you that are sadistic enough, like I was myself, to do it, this is great. This ebook is going to help you out to tell you how to do this stuff in a way that'll keep you sane and give you a perspective on how to keep it as healthy as possible. Come on over to my website and download your copy today, rockstarfitness.com or xstarfitness.com/CPCC. And go ahead and enter your email address and I'll send you some stuff plus some extra goodies on my email list. And I send a lot of content, you guys, every single week that help to keep you motivated, to keep you focused, and to just keep you on the straight and narrow when it comes to getting to your goals. And for those of you who are interested in working with me, I want to let you know right now that I'm actually taking on new clients. I'm taking on new rock stars to work with me in my VIP coaching program and also in my inner circle coaching program. That's group coaching. And I'm looking to take on 4 more women between now and the middle of next month to work closely with me to help them to get to your goals. Now, ladies, you do not have to be a competitor to work with me. You could be a first timer. You could be not looking to compete at all. The most important thing is that you know that there are some major shifts that you need to have happen in your life right now that are beyond just changing your training and your nutrition. That's going to help you to get your mindset right. That's going to help you to build your confidence and really just take you to that next level of evolution, personal self. I want to talk to you. We're going to let fitness be that driving factor. We're going to get it together, get your body together, and set your lifestyle on fire. So come to rockstarfitness.com/VIP coaching to get yourself into that as well. So ladies, thank you so much for joining me, and my gentlemen that tend to watch this as well. My 25% of men on my YouTube channel that watch my videos. Thank you so much, you guys, for joining me. Like this video, subscribe, bell notifications, and you're all good. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.